Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Scott Sports 101 Browns and early games. We'll call it an update show because they're in the second quarter right now. And at First Energy Stadium, with the Browns taking on the Houston Texans, Browns are up 3-0, and it's at the 2-minute warning till halftime. So I'll keep you updated on that. And we got great NFL action for you today. And we'll talk about all that, break down today's game. But first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 NFL Football Sunday trivia question. The Browns haven't done much right, represented by their terrible win ratio of roughly 1/3 in the 2000s and the 2010s. But for the most part, they've succeeded in drafting and signing offensive linemen. In particular, this man drafted by 2007 did not miss a single snap until he tragically tore his left triceps in 2017, which ended his season and his no doubt Hall of Fame career. Who was this? I will have the answer later in the podcast. Well, it's week 10 of the NFL, and there's a lot of great NFL action today, tonight, and tomorrow. The Browns are coming off a bye week, and they are squaring off with the Houston Texans right now at First Energy Stadium. And they are up 3-0 right now, with 2 minutes to go in the second half, and in the second quarter, until halftime. The Browns have been without arguably their top offensive player for 4 straight games, but they have welcomed him back on the field today, and sidelined since early October with an MCL injury. Running back Nick Chubb has been activated and will be on the field, and he is on the field right now with the Browns hosting the Houston Texans. Right now, being up 3-0. And according to NFL Network's Ian Rappaport, Chubb's workload remains uncertain for Week 10, but there has been no indication that he will be limited. Limited. Number 2 back, Kareem Hunt, has been reasonably productive in Chubb's absence. Totaling 142 rushing yards on 32 carries between weeks 8 and 9, but he averaged under 4 yards per carry in his first 2 starts, including a 38-7 loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Chubb, meanwhile, was off to a Pro Bowl caliber start before hurting his knee. The 24-year-old racked up 335 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns during the Browns' 3-1 start, while also averaging nearly 6 yards per carry. Chubb will be a welcome addition to a Browns offense that's lost star wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. and endured struggles by quarterback Baker Mayfield in recent weeks. On Sunday, Chubb and the Browns will face a Texans defense that is 29th in the league in scoring and 32nd in rushing and 25th in third down efficiency. The Browns have some inactives today. Wide receiver Taywan Taylor is out today with an injury. Running back Dontrell Hillard, cornerback Robert Jackson, safety Javante Moffett, and linebacker Jacob Phillips, and defensive end Drew Jackson. And Ronnie Harrison will start at the side safety today. It will be into safety. And if the Browns want to win this game, and I think they will, they've got to really keep Deshaun Watson out of the pocket and really keep their offensive front line from scoring and keep Deshaun Watson from scoring and keep the defense front line, the defensive back line, from really getting in the end zone and the red zone. And the Browns need to find a way to stop the Texans' passing game and run game as well. Meanwhile, the Texans are coming off a 27-25 win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. With the win last week, the Texans snapped a 2-game losing skid. And David Johnson is out with a concussion, and Dylan Cole is on injured reserve. So AJ Moore and CJ Anderson will start in Johnson and Cole's places today. They have been activated. Now, Deshaun Watson had 281 yards and 2 touchdowns and 32 carries last week in that win. But Houston has been struggled, being 2-6. And if Houston is going to have a chance to pull off the upset this week, it will have to find a way to stop the Browns' run game. And the Texans' defense is dead last in the NFL against the run this season, allowing a whopping 159.5 rushing yards per game. Houston hasn't fared well in other areas either, ranking 22nd versus the pass and 29th in scoring defense through 9 weeks. So the Texans are going to have to, they're working out. A lot of media doesn't like it, but they are picking the Browns to win this one. They're going with the spread. But there's some media that are picking the Texans to really pull out the upset. So we will see what happens in this game today. We'll talk about the other NFL action in just a moment on the picks of the week. But first, it is now time to reveal the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. And it's about Football Sunday trivia question, The Browns haven't done much right, represented by their terrible win ratio and roughly 1/3 in the 2000 and 2010s. But for the most part, they've succeeded in drafting and signing offensive linemen. In particular, this man, drafted by 2007, did not miss a single snap until he tragically tore his left triceps in 2017, which ended his season and his no doubt Hall of Fame career. Who was this? And if you said Joe Thomas, you are correct. Thomas was an elite tackle who embodied team spirit, toughness, and leadership. While the Browns teams in general haven't been averse to misery, Thomas going down in a Week 7 game against the Titans was akin to ripping off the soul of the team, and it was a truly unfair and terrible end to a career mirrored in losing amidst all of his loyalty. Joe Thomas ended up largely inspiring myself and personally, and as I that's himself personally, as he played football in junior high and high school leagues to also stick it out, on the field and don the number to reflect his choice of number. And I will have another trivia question on my next podcast, so stay tuned for that. And right now, I'm going to talk about this first half of the Browns because it's going to be going into halftime with 6 seconds left. We'll wait till it gets to halftime to talk about it. So what we'll do first is we will go over today's, we're going to do the picks of the week and talk about today's action, NFL action. And we're going to go back to the one, we're going to, Thursday night's game first to recap that one. The Indianapolis Colts beat the Tennessee Titans at LP Field in Nashville, Tennessee on the road, 34-17, and I took Tennessee. My brother-in-law, Eric Hoyle, took the Colts, so he's 1-0. I'm 1-1. And the Colts had control of this game in the second half. The Titans had the lead in the first half, but the Colts had the control of this one, and the game balls went to Phil Rivers, Michael Pittman Jr., and Nyheim Hines. But the Colts had control in the second half with this game and really put the game away in the second half. The Browns are up 3-0, and it's now halftime. Low-scoring first half. And my brother-in-law and I have both taken the Browns for this game. And the drive summary, and we'll get to I'm gonna do the scoring first. The only there was not very much scoring. The Browns had one field goal, and they kicked the field goal. And it was at the Houston 41, and it was a 41-yard field goal. And so, and it was good by Cody Parkey, and it was 3-0, and that's basically, that was the only score. And the Browns had, I don't know if they had turnover on downs, and then Houston went 3-0 and had the punt, and then we went out 3-0 and had the punt, and that was second quarter. We had the field goal, and then we had the punt, and then Houston had the punt, we had the punt, and then Houston had a turnover on downs, and that was the end of the first quarter. So it's basically been a low-scoring game this first half. So and it was not very, and there were only four main plays, and there were just no touchdowns in this first half. So. Well, we're going to go to the other action right now. The Washington football team is taking on the Detroit Lions at Ford Field in Detroit, and they are upset. Detroit's up 17-3 right now, with 12:53 in the third quarter. Detroit's got the ball. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Carolina Panthers are squaring off at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina, and they're tied 17-all with 12:43 to go in the third quarter. The Philadelphia Eagles are taking on the New York Giants at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, and the Giants are up on Philly 14-11 with 12:31 left to go in the third quarter. The Jacksonville Jaguars are taking on the Green Bay Packers at legendary Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Green Bay's up 17-10 right now with just to start the third quarter, 15 minutes. The Buffalo Bills and the Arizona Cardinals will square off at University of Phoenix Stadium later on this afternoon. The Chargers and the LA Chargers will face the Miami Dolphins at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. The Broncos and Raiders will square up at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. The LA Rams take on the Seattle Seahawks at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California, near Los Angeles. The Bengals will take on the 8-0 undefeated Steelers at Heinz Field. The Saints will take on the 49ers at Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. The Ravens will take on the Patriots on Sunday Night Football. And the Minnesota Vikings will take on the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field on Monday Night Football tomorrow night. That's the action. And I'll be back after the games have concluded. 3, 2, 1. I'm done.